For the Trials of Osiris, I have a secret weapon. And no, it's not a picture of the YouTube author going to fuck himself so I can use this blackmail him later. Judging by the title, you guys can almost figure out what the secret weapon is. And no, it's not Smelly himself. He's an incredible player. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. It's his connection. Yes, that's our secret weapon. We love to play on Smelly's connection. And here's why. Bungie fucked up. They made the Trials of Osiris based on connection. You're going to connect to the person that is close to you. You're going to connect to a group that you are in a pretty good location for so that you don't have a high ping. So what we decided to do was we decided to make Smelly the host of almost every single game. Matter of fact, he has been the host out of every round because we've learned there are no tryhards in New Zealand. And right here, Smelly got fucked up, so obviously he's off to a bad start up in this bitch. So I have to go revive his dumb ass. But here's what we learned. Since Bungie decided that we're going to do this by connection and by location, it's not judged by skill. It's not meant by who's the best player and who has a good score. It's based on where you live. And the fact is, I'm not going to rip New Zealand. I'm really not. I'm sure they have incredible players. They just don't have the amount of tryhards that you're going to find in other places. They don't have the amount of tryhards that you're going to find in the United States. They don't have the amount of tryhards you're going to find in Europe. They have great players, don't get me wrong. They just don't have the numbers of them. And that's what allows us to give Smelly the host so that what we do is we connect to all these players in New Zealand. And you guys are going to notice in between rounds, we do a little bit fast forwarding and shit like that. In between those rounds, I know it's quick and whatnot, take a look at the connections. Take a look at how bad my connection is, how bad Sky's connection is. There's actually going to be 2 games. We have the first week on the Burning Shrine, and then the second week we got was on Pantheon. But we're going to have Sky in the room, we're going to have San Juan in the room. You're going to notice almost all the time we have yellow bar connections. Smelly is the one with the green bar connection. The other team is the one with green bar connections, or every now and then they have a red and yellow connection. But in any event, it all plays to our advantage. And allowing Smelly, who's one of the better players that we play with, to have a connection advantage over other players, it only means that we're going to have a lot better luck when it comes to beating teams and shit like that. And like I said, New Zealand's not bad. There's nothing wrong with players that play in New Zealand. I'm not knocking you guys. I'm not knocking Australians at all. It's just we don't find the number of tryhards. We don't find the American streamers who rip off little kids on Twitch and shit all day. Oh, God, those fucking scumbags. Europe has a whole bunch of legit teams, MLG teams and shit like that. We don't find them. And what we do find is we find average players in New Zealand, probably pretty much the player versus environment, raid players and shit like that. They're not used to the Crucible, so we take advantage of them because we have some good players. Obviously, Smelly knows what he's doing. Sky knows what he's doing. San Juan knows what he's doing. Hatred was in a couple matches with us. He knows what he's doing. Bite Crazy. I can hold my own when it comes to winning gunfights and shit like that. And here's one of the tricks we've learned. Obviously, we switch out rockets and shit. Normally, I take the truth. I don't know why I took the Gallahorn here, but I took the Gallahorn. What are you going to do, man? I just wanted to fuck shit up with this. But like I was saying, man, you're going to notice we had a different strategy each and every week. This first week, our strategy was basically to try and control that middle room. And once we had controlled the middle room, then we decided we were going to rush teams as we wanted to pull out of this motherfucker. Right there, Smelly was right there. Last thing I want is for us to both get rocketed at the same damn time. So what we decided to do was we wanted to control the middle room, and we wanted to change up each and every direction that we would go charging. We're kind of a rushing team. Almost every person on our team is a rusher, is a charger. Right here, I got my kid with the Gallahorn. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that sometimes they didn't know what we were doing. Maybe we were going to rush left. Maybe we were going to go right. Maybe we were going to go over the middle. We changed it almost every time on the Burning Shrine when we knew we had an advantage and shit like that. And right here is where we're going to pretty much wipe this team out and whatnot. But everything we wanted to do was to keep the other team on their toes. And this was the kind of map that you can go in almost every single direction, whether you went left, whether you went right. And here we absolutely squashed this team. I mean, this was just a total ass kick. And again, it wasn't fair. We're a whole bunch of killers, and we know how to beat teams in this shit. So right there, Smelly actually completed his passage. He didn't have the boons on, you know, where you get the 2 wins. So there you see, I got 2 wins. I had already been to the lighthouse on this character. It was literally just buying another token just to get in so he could get his rewards. There you see, my score 7-0, don't deaths, and everybody else had their shit and whatnot. So now we're going to fast forward to the next game. We're going to head into the second Trials of Osiris, which was this week on Pantheon and whatnot. But like I was mentioning, our whole strategy when it came to actually playing on that map was to keep the other team guessing. Control the middle room, but make sure we got the other team guessing. Now, this strategy for this week was completely different. One of the things we've learned on this map, a lot of snipers. Anybody that played the Trials on this week knows the sniping was a bitch to deal with. So what we had to do was we had to adjust. And every single round, exactly what you're seeing right now is how we took advantage of this map. Right here, someone got fucked up. Hey, what are you gonna do? I'm like, don't worry, buddy. I got you on this motherfucker. Now, one of the things we wanted to do in every single game when it came to Pantheon was to get into the middle of the map. Once you get into the middle of the map here and you can control this, a lot of teams like to just sit back, hold off, see if they could kill you and whatnot. And while we control the middle, In case the game goes into overtime, we're naturally put in a position where we can actually capture the flag. Now, what we wanted to do is filter these people through these kill zones and shit like that. As you can see, there's not much room for them to maneuver if they have to move up. As soon as they're moving up and we've got good position on them, we've got them trapped. And then once we get the kills, now you see us attacking. Every single round, you're going to notice this is how we play. And again, we did it against these poor guys in New Zealand with bad connections. Oh, man, but we had a pretty good strategy on this round when we had, you guys noticed I posted a lot of 5-0 games. We had a number of 5-0 games the first week on the Burning Shrine. A lot of that had to do with people that just didn't know how to play. They jumped in for the first time. But the second week, a lot of teams said, you know what? I sucked that week, so I'm not going to come back in this motherfucker. This guy thinks he's going to hide from me with a fucking grenade. Gotcha, bitch. No, but a lot of the tryhards, they wanted to play the second week. Obviously, the casual players who didn't get any good rewards, they said, you know what? This is just not worth it. So they probably didn't play when it came to the second week. But this time, we had a lot more competition. We had a lot more teams that knew what they were doing, so we had to fight a lot of the games all the way to the end. We had a lot of 5-0 wins in the first week. A lot of the times we had this one were like 5-1, 5-2. This is I forget if this is a total blowout, if this is a 5-0 or 5-1, but in any event, you guys will notice our strategy does not change from this map. On the Burning Shrine, it changed every single time, but as we notice, Smelly is always the first person that's going to move up, and the main reason is he has a better connection. He has a better connection than us, so he knows how to get some kills on his connection and shit like that. And then after he does a little bit of work, that's when me and Sanwon would start moving up and taking some more of their kills. It happened in almost every single game we played, whether it was with Sky, whether it was with Hatred, Bite Crazy. The strategy worked pretty well. And this was going to be our strategy probably every time we play. Let Smelly be the host, and then we're going to go out there and we're going to kick their ass. Now right here, I'm going to try and go and get the heavy ammo. On this map, it's not like your team gets a heavy and their team gets a heavy. You both have to fight for the heavy ammos in the middle. So you kind of have to take a guess where teams are going. Sometimes teams are going to go left. Sometimes teams are going to go right here. I went out to the long bridge and got sniped and shit like that. But obviously in the time, and there you see it, in the time that I got to distract them, it allowed Smelly and Sanwon the chance to go get their rockets. So as soon as they got their rockets, obviously they were able to run over here and do a lot more damage. And you see he got all his kills and shit like that. So basically my little decoy and that little bit of prevention to get the heavy ammo allowed them to come in and just absolutely kick their ass. Right here, we're up 4-0. We know we got the game. But again, we don't change the strategy. As soon as we get out the map, what do? We go and we control the middle of the map. And look, they never advance out of here. Granted, Sanwon just got his ass sniped and shit like that. Right here, I was dying to use my super. I was like, fuck it, I want to drop it on someone. I ran around, man. I didn't give a shit. I was like, I'm gonna find them. I'm gonna get their ass real quick with this motherfucker, man. So right here, I'm gonna revive Sanwon, and the time that I revive his ass, then you're gonna see Smelly wipe the shit out of these guys, and we absolutely destroyed just another team. This was just one of those games where we just completely stomped over them. And again, it's mainly due to Smelly's connection up in this motherfucker, man. But anyway, there's our strategy for all of our Trials of Osiris, and yes, we did go to the lighthouse on this run. We went to the lighthouse so far and all with the characters and whatnot. But there's a little bit of how we actually play this motherfucker. The main thing, be on Smelly's connection. So anyway, as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit, and I'll see you guys in the next video.